Too many women wanted to be someone else. I shrugged. She's just kinda real. Otto nodded. Real is good. But listen, pretty boy, nothing good comes easy. When I met my Dorothy, I was working security at a nudie bar downtown. I was young and handsome back then, having the time of my life with the ladies who worked there. I had to get a new job just so Dorothy would go out with me. I ain't buying the young and handsome part, but I get what you're saying. You players have no idea what it's like to work for a woman. I see the half-naked women who cozy up to you any chance they get. It'll do you some good to have your redwood-sized ego chopped down a bit. I like this woman already. I bet you she's a smart one. Might be too smart for me. Graduated from NYU Business School and runs a successful company she started on her own. My Dorothy has been a librarian for 30 years. She's read more books than I've had beers, and you know how much I enjoy my Coors Light. So let me give you some advice. What's that? Smart women don't believe the things you say. They believe the actions they see. I nodded. Good advice, for a change. We sat side by side for a moment, watching the $10,000 Zamboni ride. He's doing a pretty good job. I jabbed my elbow into Otto lightly. You better watch out. I bet he can afford to pay $50K to replace you. Otto scowled. I laughed. That's payback for the Philly comment. Now tell me how your treatment's going. He flexed both his hands open and closed. Not too bad, except my hands and feet tingle all the time. Doc said it's nerve damage from the chemo. It better just be temporary. Otto had been diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer last year. He was getting treatment, but the outlook wasn't great, especially since it had spread in the months after he'd stopped his first round of treatments. Anything you can do for it? I asked.
What can I get you? The bartender set a napkin down in front of me. I'm meeting someone, so maybe I should wait. He rapped his knuckles against the bar. Good enough. I'll keep my eye out and stop back over when I see someone join you. But as he started to walk away, I reconsidered. Actually, I raised my hand like I was in school. He turned around with a smile and arched a brow. Change your mind? I nodded. I'm about to meet a blind date, so I wanted to be polite, but I think I could use something to take the edge off. Probably a good idea. What are you drinking? A Pinot Grigio would be great, thank you. He came back a few minutes later with a hefty pour and leaned his elbow on the bar. So, blind date, huh? I sipped my wine and let out a sigh as I nodded. I let my mom's 74-year-old friend Franny set me up with her grandnephew to make my mom happy. She described him as a smidge ordinary, but nice. We're supposed to meet here at 5:30. I'm a few minutes early. First time letting someone fix you up? Second, actually. The first was 7 years ago. It took me this long to recover from it, if that tells you anything. The bartender laughed. That bad? I was told he was a comedian. So I figured, how terrible could it be going out with someone who makes people laugh for a living? The guy showed up with a puppet. Apparently, his comedy act was as a ventriloquist. He refused to speak to me directly, wanted me to talk only to his dummy, who, by the way, was named Dirty Dave, and every other comment out of its mouth was obscene. Oh, and my date's mouth moved the entire time, so he wasn't even a very good ventriloquist. Damn, the bartender chuckled. Not sure I'd give another blind date a chance after that, even after a few years. I sighed. I'm sort of regretting it already. Well, if anyone comes in with a puppet, I got you covered. He gestured toward a hallway behind him. I know where all the emergency exits are, and I can sneak you out. I smiled. Thanks.
Too many women wanted to be someone else. I shrugged. She's just kinda real. Otto nodded. Real is good. But listen, pretty boy, nothing good comes easy. When I met my Dorothy, I was working